Good morning, guys. We're back here. We got the boat at, and we're going to bring you another video. Been on the road for a while now, and it's good to be home. And I was doing an electronics trip on Saturday morning, and we were dialing a guy's units in, looking at live scope, side scan, the whole 9 yards. And we idled over kind of like a little stumpy area of the lake. And I saw 4 or 5 frag garters that morning. And it gave me the thought, man, I haven't seen too many YouTube videos about guys really taking a deep dive into frag garters. What they are, how to find them, all that sorts of stuff. And they gave me the idea to come out here and do that for you guys. So we're going to take a deep dive into what frag garters are, how to locate them using a contour map, live scope footage, what baits I like to use, the whole 9 yards. We're going to go through everything. Because it is a really fun time of year to go catch a bunch of fish doing it, and it's not super talked about. So I'm looking forward to dumping the boat in here, going to find some, get some cool live scope footage for you guys. And then another thing, if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel and then hit me up for guide trips around the southern Indiana area. We're gonna dial your units in, and even if you don't have a boat of your own, come hop and baby Skeeter. It's about to get good around here. It's about to get really, really fun. So hit me up if you want to go for a day fishing or you want to get your units dialed in. It's really important to know how your units operate and how to use them to your fullest potential, because in all reality, if you're going to spend the money on a boat and you're going to spend the money on your electronics, it's important to get all you can out of them, 100%. So before we even dump the boat in here, we're going to fire up my Lowrance HDS 12, and we're going to look at my contour map, and we're going to show you guys where I even start looking for these frag garters and what a frag garter is. So stay tuned. We're going to take a deep dive into this, and hopefully it'll help you guys catch more bass. All right, so we're going to hop on our unit here. We're going to go to our chart. I'm running base CMAP here for this particular lake. So we know that with the fry, we are going to be looking in places around where the bass spawn, because they're not going to move super far from where they actually were bedding. So we're going to start looking in places like that. So let's see, right next to the ramp here, we have a little tiny spawning pocket that's protected by that north wind. And we got a steep bank here on this side and a little point here. And then we got a steeper bank on that side. So a lot of times the fry garters will hang out kind of on the... I personally like to target the flatter side of spawning pockets. I think your finding percentage goes up just a little bit to me there. So that would be a good place to start looking right there. I would go to the back, check that flat bank there, and then I would jet over to this point where it makes a flat turn there on the main lake. Check there. And then pretty much you can run that around the lake. It's easier to target smaller spawning bays versus picking a big giant creek to start looking in. So like this little one right here, I just set it down on your point, go in, go out, go to that little flat point there, and see if you see anything. They're not terribly hard to find once I show you guys what they look like on live scope. So you got the spawning pocket element to it. Then the other element is some sneakier stuff that guys may not look for. You may have yourself. I'm going to give this up here just because I feel like nobody talks about it. And we're going to give it up. So this is some good stuff here. So you have your Patoka Lake as a whole. Here's your north and south. The unit's set up north and south right now. So when you go up to your very north-facing bank, you have flat main lake banks like this. That one's not as flat, but you have this little stretch right here that's super flat. That's a really good example. And then you have another one like that right here in between several spawning bays. And then you have another one right here. That are your flat, elongated, north-facing points. Or north-facing banks, sorry. So that could potentially be some juice right there. Because largemouth will spawn a little bit deeper, especially the bigger ones. They'll spawn a little bit deeper on stuff that looks just like that you can't see with your eyes. The guys miss a lot, and they will guard their fry right around there. So that's where I'm going to start looking for fry garters. So we're going to dump the boat in. We're going to get live scope fired up. We're going to go try to find us a few. All right, so we're on the water now. We've already looked in a creek for some fry garters, and we didn't have any luck. I was kind of surprised that I didn't find any, but we didn't. So we just dropped the trolling motor on a main lake flat bank and just dropped it, and we found one. So we're gonna pull up scope footage now. We're gonna switch the view over to the GoPro. Yeah, we're gonna catch this thing. We're gonna show you what it looks like. So in the top right corner of the screen right there, see that little fry ball? That is what we're looking for right there. And this fry is just a little bit bigger, so this fish probably spawned a little while ago. So there's our fry ball at 65 feet out, and you see our fish right there in the middle of the screen. We're gonna go ahead and make a cast, see if we can get her to bite. Okay, you got a bad cat. See our bait's going into the fry. Here comes the fish. Oh, I had her. Here she comes again. Oh, she came off again. So do you see the fish come out of the fry ball there to get the old wacky rig? It ate it a couple times. Now we're gonna watch her. She's gonna swim right back into her fry ball there. We're gonna go ahead and make another cast. Here she comes again. Got her that time. There she is. Great example right there of a fry guarding bass. This one's this is a small one. This is only about a 2-pounder, but you watch it there. That was some really cool scope footage. How she came up, ate it a couple times, didn't get it, and then she immediately went back to her fry ball, and then came back and ate it a third time. So that's a good example there of how defensive these fish really are when they get on fry. All right, so that was pretty cool. And I happened to just pan over to the other side of this little main lake pocket we're in right here, and there's another one right there. So we're gonna catch this one, get some more scope footage, check this one out. Hopefully she bites. All right, here's the next one. Scope up in the corner. We're gonna show you the fry garter right here. There she is. Picture perfect. There's your ball fry. This one's just on the bank. It's not on a stump or anything. I'm gonna go right in there. There goes my bait, right in the middle. Done. Oh, came off. Took my worm. All right, we're gonna throw a different bait at that one since they want to keep taking my worm. We're gonna get them with the shaky head. See how they like that. All right, we kind of got out of the ball there. We're gonna get right back over to her. Oh, she had it there. Had it again. Going back to the fry ball. All right, let's catch her this time. I'm feeling. See bait. There she goes. All right. Well, we're gonna get a different position on that one. All right, here's another one I just found on a stump. This one's kind of hard to see, but definitely on a fry. So we're gonna try to catch him super quick. Got it. There we go. Another little guy. Say this one was pretty defensive too. So he has a smaller ball fry up there on that stump though. All right, so there's a little bit better one there that was on fry, I think, but it was just sitting on a stump and I didn't see the fry ball when I cast it at it. So I didn't get that scope footage, but this is like a 3.25 pound fry garter there. So there are definitely some better ones that get on the fry. So anyway, yeah, didn't get the scope footage there, but we'll get it back for the next one. There's another fry garter for us. About cookie cutter seems like here. This one may be a little bit bigger, but another 2-pounder. That one fell for the Senko. First cast on that one. All right, so we've covered where to find the fry garters. We've covered what they look like on scope, when, where, and how to look for them. Now we're going to cover the baits I like to use. So starting off, let's see, wrong one here. Starting off, we're going with old trusty, the Yamamoto Senko. Simple as it gets, 5-inch Senko. I like the Yamamoto one because it's heavy with salt and it sinks the way I want it to. You saw I caught a couple on this morning. Yeah, pretty simple there. 12-pound leader to 22-pound Sunline All Might. So sinking braid. I throw a number 1 or a number 2 robo worm straight shank rebarb hook, and yeah, it's pretty simple there as it gets. It's one of the most effective, and this is the one that I always tend to pick up first. As you could see earlier, though, sometimes they do get a little finicky, so you kind of got to start playing around. And then my number 2 option is very similar. We're gonna go with a Nico worm. This is a Big Bite Baits Nico-Rama. It's a 7-inch worm, finesse worm, and same hook, same everything. I throw a 3/32 ounce nail weight in there. The reason I like throwing this is when I work it above them and they're not wanting to commit to it, I can drop it to the bottom and let it hang out in their fry ball and just kind of twitch it. They're stationary. And this is my second, which is also a really good option. And then for another option that I like to pick up when targeting these fry garters is a little bit smaller worm. We're going with the Secret Lures Tail Shaker. This is, I believe, a 5 or 5.5-inch worm on a 1/8 ounce shaky head. You can throw a 1/4 ounce shaky head or an 1/8. I typically don't like going over a 1/4. 3/16, 1/8, or a 1/4 is what I tend to, and that's also a really good option. So the worm, clearly they can't stand it around their fry ball, so that's what I like to go with generally. Sometimes you do have to play around with them. And another good option that I don't have rigged up right now is a drop shot. The drop shot probably should be tied on, to be honest. It's a killer. You can just leave it right there in the fry ball stationary. They bite the crap out of it. And I like throwing a 6-inch robo worm on that in a pink color. I like the pink color for that. But that's the setups that I'm running with. When you're targeting these, your main focus is your hookup, because they're more than likely going to bite pretty much anything you throw at them. So I'm looking from a hookup standpoint. What is the highest percentage I can hook that fish and get it in the boat? And to me, that's a wacky worm, a Nico worm, or a drop shot and a shaky head. So worm presentations, as far as that goes, you saw me catch a couple on the big fuzz earlier. If that's your thing, they do bite it. And hook up, it just kind of depends on the day, how they're eating and what fishery you're on. But you can take the location that we've learned, everything we've learned so far, the baits, everything, and you can apply that to any lake that you go to this time of year. We're gonna go find us some more, try to catch a couple more, and see what happens. So, all right, so I think that wraps it up for us. I think I covered all the bases that I use whenever I go look for fry garters and try to catch fry garters. It's kind of a nuanced thing, because you saw on scope there, they don't all look the same. So sometimes you have to have a sharp eye, and sometimes it sticks out like a sore thumb. So it's just one of those things that you got to go out and play around with. But yeah, that's the juice there on what I use for fry garters. So this time of year is a great time to get out, go catch a bunch of fish doing it, and have some fun, learn your electronics a little bit. Yeah, so that's that. So I'd really appreciate if you guys would subscribe, and then if you want to get your units dialed in like mine are, give me a call, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. So appreciate you guys.